We are 48 schools across 14 cities, but together we are one Shawnee Mission, and this is our time to shine.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up. I'm Dr. Michelle Hubbard, and I'm your host today.
And I am Dr. Jeremy Higgins, the co-host of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up. Thank you all for being here. We are glad that you are tuning in for yet another exciting episode of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up.
It's hard to believe that we're already at 17.
It's crazy to think about. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
It really does. Someone asked me today, are you counting the episodes down? And I said, no, actually, I'm not at all. As a matter of fact, today we're filming our recording number 17, so I can't hardly believe that, but yes. So let's recap just a little bit of our last podcast where we were at Comanche Elementary School in the heart of March Madness. Yeah. It was fun.
It was fun. And a quick update. So they are down to their Final Four on their March Madness books, just like the normal Final Four for March Madness is as well. So they're trekking along right along with the tournament. Did you get an update on the four finalists? I
had to call and get an update. I will tell you that Magic Ramen is still in the Final Four, Dr. Higgins.
This is those kids must have been watching our podcast. They know who the running favorite is now, I guess.
Maybe. So the four are Magic Ramen, Not Enough Lollipops, which I haven't read that, but just by the title alone, I feel like
might need to.
Right, need to. Very Good Hats. I love a good hat.
Very Good Hats. I'm a big hat guy myself.
The last one I'm just honestly not a fan of by the name of the book, but I have a feeling that some kids might just vote for this book by the name.
I think you're probably right. Go ahead.
I'll let you.
No, go ahead. It's all you.
It's Butt Face. I don't love that. I don't love that title of that book, but kids will be kids.
And kids are dying laughing right now because the superintendent just said butt face on the podcast.
They probably are. And my face is probably bright red because I just said butt face. But yes. So moving on, I'm still confident that Ramen's going to be the winner.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Do we know when this wraps up?
I think on the podcast she said about the same time.
Same time? So about another week.
Second week of April.
Yeah. So it'll be cool to see who Comanche comes out with as the winner of the book
Battle of the Books,
March Madness.
Right. All right, so moving on today, we have two guests with us today, and I'm really excited about this topic, but we're talking about our earliest learners in the Shawnee Mission School District. So starting with pre-K, we might talk a little bit about our Jump Start program and maybe even a little bit about kindergarten roundup. So again, all those early learning years, but we are two guests with us today. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. And Tina, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Tina Hunsinger. I am the pre-K teacher at Brookridge Elementary.
Go Bearcats, right?
Bobcats.
Thank you. All right.
Dr. Neal?
Sure. I'm Leanne Neal, and I serve as the Chief of Early Childhood Education and Sustainability for the school district.
All right. Both of you, give us a little bit of your background. How long have you been in Shawnee Mission?
This is my 9th year teaching at Shawnee Mission. Prior to that, I did take a couple years off when I had my second child, my little boy. And then before that, I was in KCK also teaching pre-K. So I've done some subbing, some para jobs here and there after graduation, but mostly early childhood.
And lots of years in pre-K. I love it. Dr. Neal, how about you?
So this is my 30th year working in the Shawnee Mission School District. Thank you. I'm actually a product of the school district as well. So I started my elementary career here and then was a graduate from Shawnee Mission South, and then had the opportunity to start here as a special education teacher and then an elementary classroom teacher before coming to the district office to spend about 17 years overseeing communications. And then I had the opportunity, I was invited to go back to the education side and oversee early childhood and our expansion of that. And knowing the power and the importance of early intervention and early learning, I said absolutely, and have been honored to work with Tina and so many really gifted early childhood educators for the last, I guess about, 7 or 8 years now.
That's awesome.
So, Dr. Neal, I know another unique thing about you is both of your parents worked in the Shawnee Mission School District, correct?
They did. So if you were going to add up all of our service, gosh, I think we're like 85 years or something. So my father was a teacher and then an administrator, and actually was an interim superintendent at one time here in Shawnee Mission. And my mom served in educational support roles. So she was school secretary, bookkeeper, attendance clerk, all of those really important jobs.
That's awesome.
Just couldn't get away from it. Let's build on and dive into talking a little bit about our pre-K programs and serving those youngest learners. You mentioned coming into this role and helping with the expansion of those programs. If you would, share with our listeners a little bit, just kind of an overview of our pre-K programs and what that looks like here in Shawnee Mission.
Certainly. So we try to call it a pipeline. So we're not going to talk a lot about it today, but we do begin even earlier than pre-K. So I want to give a shout out and a mention to our Parents as Teachers program. So we actually begin serving families in Shawnee Mission prenatal to 3 with Parents as Teachers. And then our pre-K program, we have the Early Childhood Center, which serves 3 and 4-year-olds, about 2/3 with special education needs, and then peers. And then at 18 schools, next year it will be 19 of our schools, or 56% of our elementary schools, will have a pre-K classroom serving 4-year-olds. And we know that it's really important, and we braid the funding to be able to offer as many opportunities for families as possible. So we have some fee-based, as well as if you meet qualifiers, you can attend our pre-K program at no cost.
So I want to follow up on a question before we jump to Tina and the actual pre-K program, but tell me a little bit about the Early Childhood Center. We recently did some renovations there, correct?
We did. So Tina mentioned that when she started at the Early Childhood Center, it was at a former elementary school, Catherine Carpenter. We actually moved to the Broadmoor, formerly a junior high school, and then a career and technical center. And so that's where the Early Childhood Center is now. But if you can think about junior high school students and their size versus pre-K students, 3 and 4 years old, the building really wasn't right-sized for an early childhood center. So thanks to the generosity of our community through a bond election, we were able to finish our second summer of renovations last summer and move into a beautifully renovated space. And people might say, well, why is that so important that it be sized for them? And that's because one of the key things that we're trying to help students build is those skills of independence. And so when things are sized for them, they can do more things on their own, and we can have those expectations for them to be independent, which is something every parent knows they definitely want to be independent.
Well, and the decor just is so much more kid-friendly.
It is. The architects and our teams did such a great job. The colors are vibrant. They incorporated their mascot in it, and so every space is just joyful. They also removed the lockers in the hallway, so the hallway spaces are much larger, much more easy to traverse back and forth. And then, of course, a few years ago, we put in an accessible playground there, which was really important for the Early Childhood Center to have, so we're grateful for that as well.
So we have the Early Childhood Center serving about 200 kids, is that right? So
Correct.
PAT, then Early Childhood Center with the 200. And then we have these 18 sites, next year being 19 sites. So Tina, you're at one of those sites. Tell me, first of all, why early childhood for you? What was the draw?
I just love the littles. They're just so fun. You know, when they get that aha light in their head, you know, you see that light bulb come on, and they're just so fun to be around. You never know what they're going to say. You never know what they're going to do. They're just so fun, and they're so vibrant and energetic, and just brings it out in everyone.
Talk with us, Tina, a little bit about what learning looks like in that pre-K classroom. I think probably a lot of our listeners, and maybe community members or parents can remember their middle school or high school, and but talk with us a little bit about what that looks like at the pre-K level for you.
We use a lot of play. We learn a lot through play. It does sounds like you're not learning much, but you really are. You know, they're learning how to play together, how to get along, how to take turns, just any conflict resolution, if they have any big emotions, what you can do about it. But we also have, where they're sitting at the carpet, they're learning how to sit correctly, getting ready for kindergarten. Those kindergarten readiness skills are really important as well. And we break up our day, doing different things. We have lots of movement, music, We have, of course, have recess. We do different things like that throughout the day.
So when I knew you were going to be our guest, I had to do a little social media cruise on your classroom, which was so fun, and I learned a lot. But tell me a little bit about, I believe it was Hero Day, and the cutest Spider-Man ever.
So I like to have Wacky Wednesday. It's just a fun day in the middle of the week to have like a spirit day. We start out simple, colors every week, and then we get to be a little more fun. And Superhero Day was a couple weeks ago, yeah. And, we talk about, if you have a shirt that has superhero on it, wear it. If you have a costume, go ahead and wear it. I don't care. If it's okay with your mom and dad, let's have fun. And then we made masks for everyone just so everybody had something. But yeah, I just like to do something different every week. And if they have it, great. If they don't, we try and make everybody have something.
That was super fun.
Yeah, I bet the kids don't have any fun with that at all.
No.
So talk with us a little bit along with that social media dive. We noticed some activities that seem to have a little bit of a real world connection with them, even at a young age. Obviously, real world learning is a big focus here in the district as kids progress through the educational system. And it looked like that was starting in your classroom as well. Could you talk with us about some of those real world activities that you're doing with the students?
Yeah, in our playhouse is what I call it. It's our dramatic play area. I always try and make it be more interactive, a more real world type activity. When we do transportation, we have an auto body shop where we create everything. Basically, we paint a box that makes it look like a car. I have little paper wheels that they can change in and out. They can put in oil or whatever fluids that the car may need. And then we watch lots of videos about what they actually do in an auto body shop or a car shop, so they understand why they're doing it. Right now we're doing animals, so we switched it to a zoo. I let them vote on what they wanted to do. They had a zoo, a pet store, or a farm. And so it was a close race, but the zoo did win. And then we made put their stuffed animals in the little cubbies in a shelf, and we made little trees for them, and there's a fence in front of them so they don't get out. And they just have a lot of fun, and each one of them has a role when they're in that center. They can either be the zookeeper, a guide, or the visitor. And so they each can do their different roles while they're playing in that center.
That's awesome.
Right. So we talked about 18 of our 34 elementaries, next year 9. Is it safe to assume you have students in your classroom that won't be Brook Ridge students next year?
Yes. Unfortunately, some of them come from other areas, which I don't like because then they move on and I don't get to see them anymore. But yeah, I do serve more than just Brook Ridge kiddos. I have a lot of Deemer, Oak Park Carpenter, Pawnee kiddos too.
Great. Well, I love the opportunity that if I don't have a pre-K at my home school, that I still have those opportunities, correct, Dr. Neal?
That's correct. So depending on if you meet a qualifier, if you need a fee-based, or if you need a no fee-based, even if your school doesn't have pre-K, we will try to find you the closest opportunity where we have an opening that fits whatever your need is.
Take just a minute and tell me what fee-based versus not fee-based. If one of our listeners were like, I don't really know what that means.
So we knew when we were expanding our pre-K, we braid the funding, which I mentioned earlier. So we receive, it used to be a grant through the state. We're so pleased that the state actually made it a weighting. And so it's now called a 3 and 4 year old at-risk weighting. So we are able to have as many slots there as we have availability for. You have to meet, though, for that one. And then we also write a grant to the Children's Cabinet and Trust. Same kind of qualifiers. They're what you would think of typically as at-risk. It could be based on if you qualified for free and reduced lunch. Could be if you're in English, if you qualify through fluency exam for English language learning, migrant, a variety of those kind of homeless, those kind of qualifiers.
Single parent?
Single parent is a qualifier. And so if you meet any of those, then you can attend our half-day pre-K. We have an AM and a PM session at no cost. But what we knew is that many families maybe wouldn't meet one of those qualifiers, but they still really want high quality, excellent early childhood education. So we offered the opportunity then for them to pay a tuition or a fee to attend a pre-K classroom. We think it's a very good deal. It's $3,400 for the year, paid in 10 installments of $340, which we've heard feedback from families that is very competitive, and they are very appreciative.
And that's a half-day program, correct?
It is. And so when we started that expansion a few years ago, we reached out to our partners at Johnson County Parks and Rec and the YMCA, who provide our before and after care for students in elementary. And we asked, would you be willing to come alongside and do wraparound care if we had enough enrollment? And they were very willing. They've been great partners for us. We don't have wraparound care at every site because we haven't been able to make enough enrollment at every site, but we do at select sites, and that information is available. And it's wonderful because at those buildings, students can attend the half day, say in the morning, and then it's a handoff right in the building. They go to lunch, and then they join the wraparound care, which is in that same school building for the afternoon. They also, many of them, offer extended hours before or after school. So working families, that works out for them.
Great.
Awesome. Dr. Neal, one additional item. So a lot of talk about pre-K, but we also have a program here in the district called Jumpstart that a lot of our families may hear information about as well. Could you tell us a little bit about Jumpstart and maybe how it differs from pre-K?
Sure. Jumpstart is a great program. It's a 3-week program in the summer, and it's for our incoming kindergarten students. It offers them an opportunity for 3 weeks. It's, again, about a 3-hour a day in the morning, and they can step into kindergarten. It's great for any student maybe who hasn't had a lot of formal school experience, or if they maybe have a little anxiety about coming to school. Those students have that grace and opportunity to be in a much smaller class setting. We have classes of about 10 students. This summer we plan and are hoping to offer at 16 of our elementary schools. We'll have a Jumpstart program. Again, if Jumpstart isn't offered at your school, and if we have room and you can transport your child, we will accept students into a close-by school as we have the opportunity to do so. And coming up later this month, I'm excited to share that our Jumpstart program is being featured. We have, through the Education Foundation and the Hall Family Foundation, they have been great supporters and funders for us. And the Jumpstart program is being recognized later this month as part of their impact for last year.
That's awesome.
That is great. So it's pre-K enrollment time right now, correct?
It is.
And so if I wanted to enroll my child in pre-K, I can find that information where?
Online, smsd.org, under academics. You would go to early childhood education, and all the information is there. And you can enroll online. And through our office, we'll help anybody. If anybody has a question or a need, they can reach out and contact the early childhood office. And then Tina and her colleagues are getting ready in April to host our roundup or our welcome sessions for our pre-K students.
Great. And then it's also almost kindergarten roundup time.
Yes, it is. So those are happening about the same time, sometimes even on the same day, or maybe they'll do 2 days during that week. And so those are great times for families to come in, to meet the teacher, to get a chance to look at the school and the classroom. And then, of course, come first of the year, then they have an opportunity to spend time in beginning of year conferences, because we know that we have a great opportunity and responsibility at the early childhood and kindergarten level, because many times we're the first people to welcome these families into our Shawnee Mission doors. And so we want them to come in. That's why I always loved being a kindergarten teacher. I wanted people to know, I wanted our students and our families to know the joy of learning and to feel like they were welcome and had a place in our classrooms and our schools.
Great. So I would just tell all of our listeners out there that even if you yourself don't have a 3, 4, or 5-year-old, that find your neighbors that do and send them our way, because again, pre-K enrollment is already open, and then kindergarten roundup is just around the corner, right?
It is great to hear about these cool programs that are impacting our littlest learners. It is just incredible to hear the cool things that are happening, the expansion, the continued success of the program. And we just hope that continues year over year. So thank you guys both very much for being here. Dr. Neal, appreciate it. Tina, thank you so much for all the great work you do in the classroom as well. Keep it up. Keep posting it on social media. We love seeing it. Again, thank you guys so much for being here today.
I agree. Thank you. And thank you to Brook Ridge for letting you, I'm sure they're covering your classes and getting you here to make sure we could record today. So thank you for that. So I just want to remind everyone that new episodes of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up drop every 2 weeks on Thursday. So you can check out our past episodes on smsd.org. And then we're always looking for new ideas. If you have any great ideas for the next episode, drop us an email and let us know what that is.
Yeah, we started talking about the next episode earlier today, and we definitely could use some ideas for what people are wanting to see.
Absolutely.
I think maybe next episode looking at some fine arts highlights and showing some things that are happening within our fine arts department.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yes, for sure.
So thanks to Logan DeAngelis, as always, for his work on the music for Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up, to our communications team. Thank you guys for all that you do. As we exit off today, a quote for today, and kind of targeting our youngest learners. As you're starting on your educational journey, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle. And that's from Christian Larson.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. It wasn't me.
Well, that's all right. It's all right. Hey, thank you all again for listening and joining us today. And until next time, shine on, Shawnee Mission.